Good morning, dear hearts. We're on lesson 259, our second to last lesson in our relevant thought of what is sin. And today's lesson just happens to be, let me remember, there is no sin. There's no sin. There's no thing here for me to worry about and to believe I'm going to be punished because of sin. It is not real. There is no sin. Somewhere along the line, also, please subscribe and try to get others to as well. But the very first line of what is sin told us that sin is insanity. So I'm going to do something that I have done in the past, and you all know that I do. I periodically substitute one word for another, especially if I think it's going to help with the clarity, because that's what's most important as we study this course, for us to be clear, for us to understand it. Remember, we're really told that, a course that isn't understandable, a path to peace that we can't make sense of, has no value. This course has great value. It will lead us to the peace that we truly and dearly seek to have within our life, and it will also lead us home where we never really left, to understand that indeed we are God's child, sinless, guiltless, and perfect in all ways, sinless. So I'm going to start the first part of today's lesson substituting the word sin for insanity, because we're told sin is insanity. So insanity is the only thought that makes the goal of God seem unattainable. What else could blind us to the obvious and make the strange and distorted seem more clear? What else but insanity engenders our attacks? What else but insanity could be the source of guilt, demanding punishment and suffering? And what but insanity could be the source of fear, obscuring God's creation, giving love the attributes of fear and of attack? The insanity of sin turns this world upside down, even more upside down than it truly is. It tells us, because insanity does, that what is true is false, and what is love is really fear, and what is filled with peace and a way for us to attain it is all smoke and mirrors. It will not work. And again, the ego's mantra is to seek and do not find. The ego, the insanity, the sin has absolutely no interest in us finding our way home. It comes forth, remember, this sin, this insanity, this is the ego. This is where the ego strives and thrives. This is presented to us in the form of something that is big and bombastic and authoritarian, and says, no, don't listen to that. Listen to me. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your ears. Listen to me. And it is filled with fear and with hatred and with the attack and with demanding punishment if you don't listen to me. This is the ego when it has absolutely no reins to bring it in. It will take over. It's like a steamroller trying to crush us so that we do not ever come to that moment of thinking there has to be a better way. We're too busy trying to survive in this upside down, insane world to ever come to a moment of peace, to think there's something else. There is another way. There is peace somewhere. I can see peace instead of this. I have the ability to know peace instead of what I'm currently experiencing. This is when we truly get to remember there is no sin. All of this that I am experiencing is merely that nightmarish dream that we were told about in What is Sin? Madman's dreams, they're frightening, and sin appears to terrify. The ego appears to terrify, but this is only a childish game, and we do not have to play it. We might think we're that body, but we are not. We might think that evil and guilt and sin and terror are the way that we have to live, but they are not. We can rise up and realize that our Father shines on us all the time and loves us with everlasting love, which his pretenses cannot change at all. Nothing can change our Father's love for us. Now, the second part of today's lesson is very much like a prayer or a pledge to be sane, in the opposite of what the first part of the lesson is. This is our allegiance to sanity. As just several lessons ago, I offered a pledge to our one true self. This is sort of an allegiance, a prayer to our sane minds and to our Father as well. Father, I would not be insane today. I'm drawing that line in the sand here. I'm not going to be insane. I am not going to play around in the throes and the belief in sin and attack and the ego. I would not be afraid of love, nor seek for refuge in its opposite. And there is no opposite to love. What is all-encompassing can have no opposite, right from the introduction to this beautiful course. So love has no opposite. I'm not going to seek for refuge. I'm not going to seek for solace in what is not real. For love can have no opposite. You are the source of everything there is. Everything there is has come from the mind of God. That is where I go today. And everything that is remains with you and you with it. No separation. Yeah, we haven't maybe mentioned it for a day or two. No separation. There is no separation between all of God's creations and the source of those creations. We are one. We must remember that suffering in this world is not necessary. We don't have to go there. Fear is not necessary. There is nothing to fear from our first 50 lessons. And if that isn't enough, remember lesson 41. Lesson 41, definitely a favorite, that God goes with me wherever I go. And the very last line of that lesson told us that you can indeed afford to laugh at fear thoughts, remembering, let me remember there is no sin, remembering that God goes with you wherever you go. Wherever I go, I can remember God, and I can remember that there is no sin. And that will offer me, give me, show me the most delightful and happy day that I can have right now while I still abide where I am not at home. And that's it for today. I hope it helped. So please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please smile. Changes everything, reduces stress of believing that there might be sin in this world. Well, in this world, yeah, but in truth, there is none, because this world is not actually real. Shh, don't tell anyone, or actually tell everyone. I'm rambling, but smile and breathe and be happy, and please be here tomorrow. Namaste.